Okay, 2.1, quadratic functions and models. We're going to analyze graphs. We're going to write quadratic equations in Vertex form and find minimum and maximum values of quadratic functions. So it says write these in Vertex form. So real quick, Vertex form, remember, is y equals plus or minus a x minus h squared plus k. Vertex form, because h and k is your vertex, yes? Okay, quadratic is a parabola, and the h and k is your vertex, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so how we are going to do this is we are going to use completing the square. Actually, no, you don't know. Well, we've done completing the square, but I need.
My nose hurts.
I do not expect you to remember that, Jenna. I do not expect you to remember completing the square. We have done it, but I wanted to see if they're doing negative b over 2a first.
I thought you were asking us a question and everyone knew.
No. I was not asking you a question.
Yeah.
When did you get your nails done?
Last week. Okay, so we're going to complete the square. So how we complete the square, we're going to use completing the square. Okay, so it's in the name. We are making a perfect square trinomial. So that means where we have squared. Okay? So we're going to do this, and there's a process. So the first thing you do is kick out the constant. Kick out the constant. So I have negative 1/2 x squared.
What's the parentheses square?
That's
Are you gonna
a
put anything in that?
no. That's just completing the square. We are making a perfect square. Okay, negative 1/2 x squared plus 6x minus 10. Okay, that's our first step. We kicked out the constant.
Why is there a big space?
I'm going to show you why there's a big space. Okay, so everyone got that. First step, kick out the constant. The next step is you need this. Remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c, yes?
Yeah.
You need a to be 1. So it means I have to factor out whatever a is if it's not 1.
I got busy for 8 hours. Just tell them to play on their computers. Those two will play games all day.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
He's so
Okay, so that isn't a 1, it is negative 1/2, yes? Okay. I'm recording. Okay. I need to factor out negative 1/2. So negative 1/2. Okay, so when I factor out, I'm dividing, yes? So when I divide negative 1/2 by negative 1/2, I get 1. Okay, so when I divide 6 by negative 1/2, I get negative 12. Because you have to multiply by the reciprocal. We're leaving that space still. Minus 10. Stop. Okay, so now, you keep asking me what goes here. Well, whatever I put here goes here. But whatever's inside the parentheses, isn't it multiplied by negative 1/2? Because that would be distributed in.
Yeah.
So I've got to put it also out
Here.
Okay, so right here, we write b over 2 squared. In this blank is going to be b over 2 squared. So what's b?
B is negative 12.
Okay, so negative 12 divided by 2 squared. So negative 12 divided by 2
Negative 6.
squared,
36.
36. And always going to be a positive, isn't it? Is it always going to be a positive?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if it goes here on my line, then it also has to go
Over there.
out here. Okay, so now I'm just ready to simplify. So I told you the whole point of this is to get a perfect square trinomial. So that means this trinomial right here factors to quantity squared. Okay, so what are the factors of 36 that add to negative 12?
Negative 6.
And negative 6.
Yes.
So I have negative 1/2 x minus 6 quantity squared. And then I have this stuff on the outside. So negative 1/2 of 36 gives me
Negative
180. Wait, I was
negative 18.
dividing. That's for dividing.
That's for dividing. Just half of 36 is 18, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so negative 10, negative 18 is?
Negative 28.
Okay, so what I've done now, I wrote this in Vertex form, didn't I? So now, if I needed to graph this, I know the vertex goes right 6, down 28. I know it opens down because it's reflected over the x-axis, and it is wider by a factor of 2. So I could sketch a graph of this. Could I sketch a graph of this up here?
No.
No. It'd been a lot harder, right?
Yeah.
So the whole point of this was to get it into Vertex form to make it easier to graph. Carson?
That makes sense.
Wider as this way.
Yes. Okay. So it makes it easier. I will tell you, I hardly ever use this unless it tells me to do it. We can also solve equations this way. We could, instead of factoring or using the quadratic formula, we can use completing the square. It works. But it's just one of those things that I know how to do. I've always known how to do it. It's just one of those things I just don't go to immediately. So on this test that you take this on, it will say, do this by completing the square. Okay? You won't have an option because it is a skill you do need to know. Okay, so let's do it again. So x equals, I really don't know why it's x equals, but we're just going to solve for x instead of y, right? Okay, so y equals negative y, x equals negative y squared minus 16y minus 58.
Kick the 58.
Kick the 58 out. Bless you. Okay, so we're going to see if we can write down less steps just because. So I have negative 58. Okay, so what do I need to do with this in here?
Divide by -1.
So I need to factor out a -1. So I'm going to put negative. And so what's that give me inside?
Y squared plus 16y.
Y squared plus 16y. Okay. And whatever goes here, but I have to take my what?
Negative.
So it's going to be negative right here.
And it should be
Normally that would be a positive because when I square it, it's always going to be a positive, correct?
So 16 over 2.
It's 64.
So 16 over 2 squared. I don't want to skip any. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. Squared is,
64.
so plus 64 and
Minus 64.
minus 64. Normally it is the same sign. Why is it minus on the outside?
Is it negative?
Because the negative out front.
So going to be negative.
What are you doing, Jenna? Describe what you're doing.
60.
Y plus 80.
I don't know what it's called.
What's she doing?
Y plus 80. What's that called?
Factoring. Okay, so factors of 64 that add to 16.
8.
8 and 8. So y plus 8 squared minus,
122.
Oh, okay.
yep, 122. And this was going to be x equals, correct?
Yes.
I think maybe I mistyped that, but oh well, it worked. If this does not factor to a perfect square, you did it wrong. That's why it's called completing the square. You are making a perfect square trinomial. Got that? Okay, so we have a definition of a quadratic function is f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay. All parabolas are symmetric with respect of the line called the axis of symmetry. Do you see the axis of symmetry?
Yeah.
Okay, it is a horizontal line, correct?
Yeah.
I think you already knew that. The x value is the axis of symmetry. So the x of the vertex is h, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the axis of symmetry is x equals h. Okay, here's the y. Okay, the axis of symmetry is x equals h. Whatever the h is, that is. We write it as an equation of a vertical line. You cannot just say 6. It has to be x equals 6. Just like when you tell me an x-intercept, are you supposed to just put x equals 2? You're supposed to put 2 comma 0, aren't you? It's a point.
Yeah.
I don't write axis of symmetry. I write A of S. What does A of S stand for? Axis of symmetry. If you would like to write out axis of symmetry every time, go for it. But if not, A of S. Okay, what makes the parabola open up? What makes it open down?
The first one.
The A, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if the A is negative, it opens down. If the A is positive, it opens up. Am I good? This might be tomorrow, so let me see. It is really short because you got 5 through 8 and 13.
Good morning.
Oh, we're on the wrong section.
Oh, I could go to sleep right now if I really wanted to.
Okay, so 2.1 vertex form of a quadratic functions. Thanks. Okay, so we've gone over vertex form. That's that H and that K, yes? H and K. Left, right, up, down. Okay, so we're going to specifically be working with quadratics, which is a parabola. Okay, so we've done all this. These are just some key things, right? Remember we had a parent function? Where did the parent function start?
0, 0.
0, 0. Looked like that? Yep. Beautiful, isn't it? So those are some things we already need to have in our head. So a function is a quadratic equation, a quadratic function. Its equation can be written in the form. There's f of x equals ax squared plus bx plus c, where a is not 0. If a was 0, that wouldn't be quadratic. It would be what?
Linear.
Linear. Okay? So b can be 0, c can be 0, but a cannot. Because the whole point is it has, what makes it quadratic? The x squared. A and b are coefficients of x. C is actually a coefficient of x to the power of, can anybody guess? 0. Because what is anything to the 0 power?
0.
No.
1.
1. So there's the parent function. We've seen it before, yes? Okay. H and K starts at 0, 0. And we're going to move it left, right, and up and down. The parent function is just f of x equals x squared. The shape is a what? Parabola. And since the title was vertex form, I probably should have the what? Vertex form. Have we already seen vertex form in here this year?
What is that? Yes, we have. Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we've already done this, but this whole chapter is about quadratics. We will be graphing it in vertex form. We will be graphing it in standard form. We will be finding the vertex. We will be finding the maximum. We will be finding the axis of symmetry. It's all about the parabola. Now, it took us forever to get through chapter 1. It will not take us forever to get through chapter 2. Okay, the plus and minus at the beginning reflects it over what? Specifically the x. The y-axis would be the x would be negative, but with a parabola, can't we just move it left or right? Because we reflect it over the y-axis, isn't it exactly the same?
Yeah.
Yeah. We won't be doing much with reflection with the y-axis because it's kind of silly. H moves it what way? Left and right, horizontal. But since it's negative, it's always what? It's negative, so it's the opposite direction.
Yeah.
We're just saying which way they go. Like, you remember our chart said, like...
Okay, I'm just going through what everything means.
Is horizontal the y-axis?
No, horizontal is x. Horizontal.
Vertical.
Yeah.
Okay, K is the what?
Vertical.
Vertical. And it's the same direction because it's a what? Plus?
So up.
Oh, there should be two P's in opposite. Sorry. Oh, well. Fix it. So these are things we already know. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this should be pretty easy. Tell me when you guys are good. There. Good? No? Jazz, are you good? No? Okay. You let me know when you are. Jacob, you're still writing?
I just finished.
Okay.
Are we just adding to this, basically?
Just gonna get better at it.
I like that.
Good? Okay. Okay, so, oh, look at that. Don't start writing. Is this what we just wrote?
Yep.
Okay, so the plus or minus, I forgot, that was the next slide. I would have just gone to it. Plus or minus is, if it is positive, it opens what? Up. If it is negative, it opens down.
So does that mean like...
Okay. If A is the absolute value of A is greater than 1, the graph changes quicker and it becomes narrower. Remember? It was a vertical stretch. Yes. If it is less than 1, it becomes wider. And then it depends on how the IXL wanted it, right? Whether it was a horizontal compression or a vertical compression, right? It'd be a horizontal stretch, vertical compression. Correct? Okay. So H is the opposite direction. X, you might want to add this. X equals H would be the axis of symmetry. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
What's symmetry mean? The same on both sides. So if I have a parabola and the vertex runs, like here's the vertex, yes? Isn't that your axis of symmetry? Yes? So that equation would be x equals h, whatever your h is. Okay, so you might want to add that. If A is greater than 0, so that means it goes up, yes? This is a minimum. H would be a minimum. If A is less than 0, it would open what? Down, so it would be a what? Maximum. But that pretty much makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah? And K is the vertical translation in the same direction. So this is just more in detail of what we just said. If you want to add to your other little diagram, you can. Does H tell me a lot of stuff? Yeah. It gives me the axis of symmetry. It tells me the min and max. Am I good? No one's screaming and yelling. Okay, so these are just some pictures. What changes between the blue and the red on the left? Okay, the blue is the parent function. Yes? Okay, blue's parent. What's happening to the red?
It went left 2 and then reflected across.
It went left 2. Why did it go left 2?
+2.
Because it's +2. So the vertex went from 0, 0 to -2, 0. Is that what happened? Okay. Why is it opening down?
Because it's
Reflected over the x-axis.
yeah, -1/2.
Because it's the -1/2. Okay. So that reflects it. Well, what's the 1/2 do? It slows it down, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to slow down, and it's not going to go down as fast, so it's going to go down slower and get what? Wider.
So how do you know how to make it that wide?
Well, you would plug in. It's moving, it's every y value, it's taking half of it. When you get a y value out, because you plug in an x right here, yes, and you get a y out, but every one of them you're taking half of it. So it's slowing it by half.
Oh, okay.
So every time, instead of going down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1, it's going over 1 but down a half. So it's going to get wider. It's basically its rate of change. We can't say slope because is this linear? No.
Can you
But
count it the same?
it's slow. What?
Can you count it?
No, you can't unless it's a absolute value. But you can think of it like the same.
So how do you count it?
Well, you'd have to plug in values. You can't count it. So you'd have to plug in, like, if I plugged in 1. Okay, so if I plug in 1, I get -1/2, 1 plus 2 squared. So I get negative, let's see, that would be 3 9/2, which would be 4.5. So 1, I'd go 4.5. That's right there. So without the half, without the 1/2, if I took that out, it'd be -9. So it'd be clear down here. Does it make sense now? Mm-hmm. Okay, it just slows it down. So what's happening on the next one? Blue again is parent function. Where's 0, 0 going?
Goes down 3.
Goes down 3 and
Right.
right 1. So add 1, subtract 3. Yes?
Yeah.
So it goes to 1, -3. Is that what happened? Okay. It's opening up because it's positive. But what happened to my rate of change now? 2 increased by 2. So it goes, for every one it goes over 1, it goes up what? 2. So it's going to get skinnier. That makes sense? When we plug in 1 and see what happens? Show the difference? Okay, so 2, 1 minus 1 squared minus 2, or 3. So 1 minus 1 squared is 0, 0 squared, so I get negative 3. So I plugged in 1, got negative 3. Plugged in 1, got negative 3. Is that what I got?
Yeah.
Yeah? But if I just plug in 1 without the 2, so 1 minus 1 squared minus 3, oh, I still get what? Negative 3, because it moved it. That's not going to help you. I need a different number. Let's not do 1. That's what I get for plugging in the vertex. How about 2? So 2 minus 1 squared minus 3. So 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 squared, 2, 2, 3, negative 1.
Yeah.
So I plugged in 2, got negative 1. So 2, negative 1. Yes? So 2 minus 1 squared minus 3. So that'd be 1. 1 minus 3 would be negative 2.
Why are you taking that side 2 away?
Because I wanted to show you the difference of what would happen. So it would be over here. So it would be wider. See that? So it's increasing it faster. I want you to visually see what's happening now. Questions? Okay, so when I want you to describe the change, you're going to go through each of these things and describe what happens to it, right? That's all you're going to do. Have you done that before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so describe the transformation of the parent function. So the parent function is x squared. So we were going to go 0, 0 goes somewhere. Yes? That's the vertex. We're going to talk about if it's reflected. We're going to talk about if it goes narrower, wider, that kind of stuff. So what's your h?
Oh.
2.
1. 2. -2.
Negative 2. Why is it negative 2?
Because it's positive.
Because it's positive in there. What's your k?
0.
0. Why is it 0? How do you know 0?
There's nothing there.
There's nothing out there. Could I put the k in front? Could I put a 7 up there? Yeah. And will they? Yeah. Okay. So now I got to subtract 2 and add 0. And I'm going to get what? Negative 2, 0?
Yeah.
Okay. So we had the axis of symmetry. That was on that slide, right? On that second slide? Okay. So we're going to call that A of S. What does A of S stand for?
Axis of symmetry.
Axis of symmetry. It was x equaled 0 because the parent function was at 0, 0, correct? Now, what that second slide say it was? X equals what?
1.
Second slide, I told you the axis of symmetry was x equals what? H. What's your H?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay, we got vertex, axis of symmetry. Oh, what's this do?
That makes it open up down.
Opens down so it reflects over the x-axis, right?
Yeah.
So if it reflects over the x-axis, do I have a minimum or a maximum?
Maximum.
I have a maximum because it looks like this, yes? So the max is at the vertex.
So
Negative 2, 0. Sometimes if you do a math Excel, it would say like, where is it at? And you'd say x equals negative 2. But I want this because the maximum is a point. Does that make sense? Okay. Domain. Gotta dig deep. What's the domain of every quadratic function unless I put it in a story problem? What? all real numbers. Okay? So x such that x is a number in the all real numbers. Yes? And that's how I'm going to write every one. I'm not going to write interval. If you want to write interval, you write interval. What would the interval look like? Because this is set. What would interval look like?
Negative infinity to positive.
Parenthesis. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So int. Well, I don't write interval because we use intervals for something else. Like we cut the x-axis in intervals, and my brain doesn't like to do both. So I keep domain and range in set notation and everything else in interval notation. It keeps it separate in my brain.
What's under the 2? Or what is the, oh, that's not a 2. That's a,
She's talking about
The double backed-r?
yeah.
Okay, that says set. Is that what you're asking? Okay, range. Okay, what's the range of the parent function?
Zeros.
X is greater than 0, yeah, or y is greater than equal to 0? Okay, so if I didn't change my k, does it change? Because the only thing that's going to change the range is the k. And what was our k? 0. So does it change? No. So y such that y is greater than equal to 0. Range and domain is going nowhere. So you better get it. So if you're not getting it, you need to come in so we can get it.
Wouldn't y be less than 0 since it's opening down?
Oh, yes. The number didn't change, but yes, thank you very much. It'd be, I think I wrote less than actually, but I said greater than. I think I had less than written.
So if it's up, it goes the other way.
Well, yeah, because it's going down, so that would be the max. So it's everything down there. Make sense? Okay, do I have everything on there now? I have vertex. Got the vertex. Axis of symmetry. I got a reflection. I have max, and I have domain and range. Do you see how everything is labeled? What should you do? Label. It's not multiple choice grading, guys. I don't go, oh, well, they've got that there. No, you have to know what it is. Got it? Do you want to try the next one on your own?
Yeah.
Try it. Try it. Just write down. You start by going vertex.
They're both x squared like the parent function.
Yes, because it's squared right there. Axis of symmetry. You want H, and you want K. Tori, did you get it right?
Why is it minimum?
Because it opens. See how I made a little sketch for me? Make a little sketch for yourself. It opens up, so it would be a minimum, wouldn't it?
So where would it reflect?
There's no negative. So it's no reflection. Those are horrible sketches, but it doesn't matter, right? As long as my brain sees it. Okay, how'd it go? If you identify your HK, should you just kind of fill in the blanks from there? HK, and if it opens up or down. I wrote my H and my K, and then I wrote my vertex, and then I gave myself a drawing. And then from there, I just went on autopilot. Questions?
I just keep putting -1 instead of just 1.
Okay, you've got to remember that's the opposite direction. I mean, you know that, so you just got to figure out how to remember that. Because the formula is negative, so.
Okay, what is y for range? Like, what is the y before you put the 2?
0, 0. Parent function 0, 0.
Then why is it towards the y?
Because it's greater because it's opening up. So it opens up. So this graph, so it was like this. Yes? Now it's going to move over 1 and up 2. And it's going to go like that. So the range was greater than equal to 0. Now it's greater than equal to 2.
Okay.
Because the range is going to be your K. Range is K. Okay, so wherever your K goes to is going to go here.
Yeah.
It's whether it's going to go up, if it's going to be greater than 2, or if it's going to be less than 2. It opens down.
Okay.
Okay? Other questions?
How do I make 0, 0
This is, you got your H and K, yes? So +1, +2.
Oh, because it's y is on the outside.
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions? Those are all good questions. Okay, one last one. Go for it. Is it going better?
This is max form.
I don't know if it is or not. Bless you. How'd it go? Awesome?
Better.
Better? Getting there? Okay.
Okay, wait though.
Oh.
Also, go back.
Yep. Just a second. Yes.
Okay, what's the little one after the equals, like for the vertex?
That just goes to. It's an arrow.
Okay. That
It's-
makes more sense.
It means goes to.
I just put it
Okay. Well, at first I thought it was like saying that was greater, and I was really confused.
Oh no, that means just goes to.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
So if I just did my notes and fill in this stuff.
Okay. Writing it. Oh, backwards. We had the equation. We had the equation, and you had to tell me what happened. Now I'm going to tell you what happened. You're going to write the equation.
No.
Okay, so the equation is y equals plus or minus a x minus h squared plus k. Yes?
Yeah.
So it tells me it's quadratic. That's why I know it's squared. It tells me the vertex is negative 2, 3. So it is h and k. And it tells me... Ooh, it tells me the y-intercept is negative 1. So that means that's 0, negative 1, yes?
Yeah.
And this is an x and this is a y. So in this formula, I have y, a, x, h, k. Yes? And what did I give you? H, k, x, y. What do I need to figure out?
For the what is A?
I need to figure out what a is. So how am I going to figure out what a is?
Plug everything in.
Plug everything else in and solve for a. Do not worry about the positive, negative. The math is going to work that out. Got it? Okay, so y is what?
Again,
Negative 1 equals, and we're just going to put an a. What's x?
0.
yeah.
0.
Plus 2.
Plus 2. Why is it plus 2?
2 negatives.
2 negatives. Squared. Don't forget your squared. Plus 3. Okay, helpful hint, guys. Subtract your 3 first. So negative 4. Okay. And then 0 plus 2 is
2.
2. Squared is 4. And that is 4 times a, yes?
Plus 3.
Yeah.
Well, we subtracted the 3 already. Okay, now what?
Divided by 4.
Divide by 4, not negative 4. So a is negative 1. So we have a, and we have h and k, so y equals what? Negative 1, and we don't have to put the 1 there, do we? Negative x plus 2 squared plus 3.
So you're just trying to find what is missing?
Yeah.
That's
Will it be the same thing every time, or will it be like different?
What do you mean? How would it be? How could I make it different? Okay, this says y-intercept. Could I also say, like, goes through the point 6, 8? Yeah. Okay, but y-intercept, you needed to know that the x is what? 0? Isn't the x always 0 at a y-intercept? Yeah. Okay, so other than that, you need to have an h, a k, and an x and a y, and you can solve for a, can't you? Or I could just tell you a. That'd be nice. Oh, how'd it change?
Passes through negative 3, negative 1.
I just gave you a point it passes through, right? So what am I going to do?
plug it all in.
Plug it all in. What is this? What is this up here? What variables are these? Focus on me, you 3 back there. Okay, what is this?
H and K.
H and K. What is this?
X,
X and Y.
X and Y. What's the equation? Y equals what?
Y equals.
No, the without anything filled in. Y equals what?
Plus or minus A.
Plus or minus A.
In parentheses, x minus h. In parentheses, squared plus k.
Squared plus K. And then I do what? Plug it in. So what's y?
-1.
-1 equals, don't worry about the plus or minus. Your math will tell you. And what's x?
-2
Plus 4.
minus
That's a
1
1.
-1. It's your h squared
-4.
-4. So again, helpful hint, add your 4 over first. Because you won't try to do stuff wrong. So 3 equals -2 minus 1 is
Negative 3.
squared.
9.
So I have 9a.
Where'd you get that 9?
-2 minus 1.
How?
-2 minus 1. Testing.
How is it just 3 squared?
Well, it's -3 squared, but yes, which is 9. Okay, and so a is what?
9.
How about 1/3? Okay, so my equation is
Y equals 1/3 x minus 1
Minus 4.
How did you get a 1/3?
because I have
3.
3 equals 9a, so 3 over 9. If you need to write more steps, write more steps. But I'm going to start making you think about it without showing every little step. Because if we're showing every teeny little algebra 1 step, is that going to make these problems really, really, really long? Yeah. Okay, questions, guys. Should this be pretty basic?
Yeah.
Do you need to know this? When chapter 1, when I introduced it to you, did I say learn this?
No.
Yes. Oh, is this going to be any different? It says write an equation. Okay. Now, it says write a quadratic equation in vertex form and in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So let's worry about the vertex form first. Okay, so what do we got? I'm not even going to read the problem. What do I got?
120 is the vertex.
120 is the vertex. How do you know?
It says it.
Well, it says it, but also
Showed it.
shows it, yeah? So this is H, this is K. And what's 0 for?
X and Y.
X and Y. Do it. Go ahead and portray it. Nick, you too. Okay, did you know A was going to come out negative? Why?
Oh,
You should have,
because it opens up now.
because it opens down. When I'm doing anything with a ball, is it going to open down? Because why? What happens?
Goes up and down.
Why? Gravity. This pesky thing, right? Okay, so we've got this. That's in vertex form, yeah? How am I going to get from here to standard form? This is standard form. What do you think?
Just plug it in.
Do the math.
Oh, wait.
Okay, what does x minus 1 squared mean? It means to FOIL it, yes? So x minus 1 times x minus 1, what do I get?
X squared.
x squared minus 2x plus 1 minus 16 plus 20. Now what math does it tell me to do?
FOIL again.
No, not FOIL.
I
Distribute. So I get negative 16x squared plus 32x minus 16 plus 20.
Yeah.
Then what?
You just add.
You just combine like terms, right? Negative 16. Oops, I was going to put 16 squared without the x. That's not going to work, is it? X squared plus 32x plus 4.
Yeah.
Okay, was that hard? No, but you had to make sure you did what correctly?
FOIL.
FOIL that. So this is vertex form. And this is standard form. Now, second time you're seeing vertex form, is it easier this time?
Yeah.
And are you asking yourself, why was it so hard last time?
Yeah.
No. No.
I'm pretty sure this is the last slide. Can I check and I'll be back? Oh, there's another one. But is it going to be any different? No. Is it going to be any different?
No.
No. And then this is the keywords.
Wait, how do you know what C equals? Like when we did it.
How do you know what do you mean?
Like, how do you know it's 20?
Because I'm do this equation right here.
Yeah.
I squared this and got this. Distributed negative 16 and got this. And here's my plus 20. So my C was the negative 16 minus 20. Okay, you want to do one? All on your own? You want to do this one or you want to do this one? Let's do this one. Let's do that one. Well, they gave you 0, 4 again. How boring. Go for it. Keep going, finish. Oh no, you get a fraction. Did you all get negative 3/2?
Yep.
How am I going to go to vertex form?
FOIL.
Foil. So I get negative 3/2 and x squared minus 4x plus 4. And now I just foiled it quick, but do you all know how to foil?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, and then do what? Distribute. So negative 3/2 x squared plus 12/2, which would be 6x. And then 2, negative 6, and plus 10. So y equals negative 3/2 x squared plus 6x plus 4. You all know how to do it. It might take you a few more seconds than it took me, right? But you all know how to do that math. Okay, so your big thing today is what? Y equals plus or minus ax minus h squared plus. Okay, now your assignment is very short today. It's just to get it sunk in. Tomorrow, I want it done. I want it done when you walk in this room. They may not be right. You may have questions, but I want every problem done. It's 7 problems.
How do you get to -2?